fucker, I will end you. Friendly! Not friendly, it's gun game.
It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's giving cat vibes.
I'm not the one in charge. That's all my wife. That's all her.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to More Than Parents podcast. I am Aztecan. This is Kat and the lovely Crash. Today, we're going to be talking about spring cleaning. It is right around the corner, guys. I know it feels like January was super long, and then February just kind of flew out the window. But we're here to teach you guys that teamwork makes the dream work, even when it is what, Kat? Scrubbing toilets?
Scrubbing toilets. Teamwork makes the dream work, even when you're scrubbing toilets.
But before we get into the main event of topic and conversation, we wanted to take a second, as from the three of us, from More Than Parents podcast, to thank you guys for all the recent success on our videos. One video in particular, Steak and BJ's, took off. And Crash, you have a little bit of something to say about that clip?
Yeah, a little bit. First of all, I was definitely an adult when I heard my father say that in a barroom setting. He was talking about my mother. And considering that the holiday was made up in 2002 and I would have been 13 at the time, and I told him about it, I was very much an adult. And it is definitely the 14th. That cracked me up because my face knew I was wrong, but my mouth just kept going without my brain.
Just kept mouthing, huh?
My mouth just kept mouthing without my brain. It happens. Actually happens a lot. So,
according to your husband, April 14th is also a holiday.
Yeah, but why do I don't need 2 holidays, so I'm good.
Okay.
What's April 14th? I'm interested. What is that? If February is that good, you got to follow it with something better, right? What is
it? So you've got what? We got Valentine's Day, February 14th, Steak and BJ Day, March 14th, and then April 14th is supposed to be Cake and Cunnilingus Day. Why can't that's like Worcestershire sauce? Like who the
the Worcestershire sauce?
Wash your sister sauce. Let's wash your sister sauce.
Oh man.
Hand me that there. Wash your sister sauce. It's all right.
But for real though, how do you guys say it?
I'm never gonna look at it the same again. What? Worcestershire?
Worcestershire
sauce?
Worcestershire.
Yeah, we're southern though, so we got that.
Worcestershire.
Our northern and coastal friends that struggle with that one.
And the liquid smoke.
But yeah, it's just amazing to see, I mean, all together on all platforms, we're over 3 million views. That is insane. I think we're over like 500,000 likes, over like 200,000 shares and saves. Like it is crazy. And I don't even remember the comments. They were crazy. But my favorite platform to take off was Instagram. I mean, those people had a lot of different things to say in regards to Steak and BJ's, and then just in regards to the overwhelming amount of people that had to correct you and be like, hey, it's the 14th, okay? Like, I didn't realize that this holiday was so well known and people were ready to defend it that much, I was just like, okay, hey, don't mess with their holiday. They take it serious. So I hate that, I'm a late bloomer to this one. So I made the wife aware. She rolled her eyes at me and walked off. But hey, holiday's a holiday.
Well, see, that's the thing too, is it was a radio gag. It started as a radio gag in 2002, and radio DJs all over the world adopted it as a radio gag, and then it started being recognized on like Wikipedia and stuff as a holiday, and some official websites popped up and whatnot. But yeah, they call it something. They even call it something different in different states.
Yeah, I did notice that people from like different coasts were calling it different things in the comments, and I can't even remember.
They think it originated at different radio stations, their local radio stations, San Francisco, Houston. And the funny thing is that Rod Ryan in Houston on 94.5 The Buzz, he does it every year. He does gags on it. And my dad is very much a 1069 94.5 guy. So, it's not really that surprising.
Yeah. Well, Kat, today's main topic, are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Is spring cleaning. I know it's like, why are we doing this episode so early? But it's right around the corner. And then, like, again,
It is.
February feels like it came and went. I know it's the shortest month, but I felt like we were in a chokehold in January. I felt like January was so long. I don't
It
like.
was so long.
I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way we're still in January. I don't know what it was up with that, but yeah, spring next month. It's right here, right around the corner. And I just kind of want to talk to you guys about that because I feel like as parents, and then as spouses and all that, there's so many different jobs to look at, and I would love to see your guys' point of views and like how you guys handle it in your household, because I know in my household it is a whole event. It's like, unfortunately not like going to a carnival, but this place turns into one, and then not in a good way. Like we're the workies or the carnies, I should say. We're working hard, and I just kind of want to get your guys' views on it. So how does it happen? Like, what is the process? Like, when do you start? Or is it just like you wake up and you just smell that shift in the air? Like, when do you initiate it in your homes?
I don't know if I'm the person to ask. Hot take. I still have my Christmas tree up.
Oh,
Okay.
it's like a cardinal Christmas sin to still
Yeah.
have it up after Valentine's Day. Like,
No, I told my husband this year, I was like, I don't want to take it down. Like I'm just not in that place where I'm ready to take it down yet. Yeah. So I guess spring cleaning will be here when I decide to take my Christmas tree down.
Okay, that's going to be the marker for hey, it's spring.
Oh, I've got
no, it's not.
No.
She's going to put Easter decorations on it.
I have a real wreath. So last year I got a real wreath for the first time. And so it's like an evergreen wreath. It smells so wonderful. And after a while they do start to brown. So maybe when my wreath starts to brown, that's when it's time to give it up.
When it's all stale and nasty, and you're just tired
Yeah.
of looking at it.
It's still pretty green.
Okay.
Interesting.
What
Yeah.
about y'all over there, Crash? Do you guys do like, is there a certain date? Is it just like when the wind blows a certain way? How do you guys do it down there in
It's
Texas?
it is definitely when the wind blows a certain way. Anytime it's been cold for a while, but I mean, for me, it could be cold for 3 days, and it, being 72 on the fourth day, and I'm like,
Yeah, we're ready to hit it.
like I'm too skinny for winter weather. I just am. But yeah, for some reason, whenever we get a random warm day, I'll do something. Like I cleaned out my bathroom the other day just because it needed to be done.
Yeah.
And we've done the kids' rooms since Christmas, and
Yeah.
just for some reason when it's a warm, pretty day, I'm all over the house. I get a whole bunch of stuff done. But when it is gray and it is cold or it is raining, forget about it.
Forget
Forget
about it.
about it.
Forget about it. I'm taking a nap.
Yeah, so here, I mean, like we don't have a set date or anything. It's kind of just like when you've had like that week of kind of like, okay, it's starting to warm up. You kind of start seeing more of that pollen and stuff out in the air. You kind of, you're sitting on the couch and the rays of sun are coming through the windows or doors, and like you see the little dust particles in the air because you're like, it's time. I had to stop my daughter today, actually, because she was like, "Mom, the TV's got dust on the back." I was like, "Stop, don't do that, don't do that. We're not starting right now, because it's still cold. Actually, this week is forecasted to be one of our worst weeks we've had all year.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm like, please no, because I don't know about you guys, but for us in this household, we take everything outside of the house, and if it's a fabric like a cushion, a couch, we beat the hell out of it, get all the dust out of it, we vacuum it outside, and then we slowly bring everything in after we've cleaned up inside. It is a circus. I'm not kidding. And then half the time we end up rearranging how the house looks. So new year, new us, whatever. Like, couches are in different places, TV's in a different spot. Dining room tables shifted somehow, some way. When you have a little house kind of like we do, like there's not a whole lot you can really do, but we're gonna make it different in some way. Like, just
Yeah.
I don't know why, I don't know, you just kind of get bland with the same stuff over and over. I think kids get a little bit older, you're trying to make things more functional, So
See that.
yeah, it is rough. And I think every year is just a memorable year because the kids get a bit older. I don't know about you guys, but we involve the kids in it. Everybody's got a chore, everybody's got a job,
Yeah.
and then depending on age, because age is such a big deal, like who does what at what age, who can do what, and half the time, especially for the 10 and unders, like you're going back and redoing it anyways. So it's kind of pointless, but it's learning, right? Which is part of parenting, is teaching. So, what about you
We're just,
guys?
we're just kind of starting to break down into that age thing. I have um my oldest is almost 10, and he's about that, like he knows what to do. We usually have him sweep. We have a little Swiffer, so like when he mops, it's not like that. It's just running the Swiffer through the house, like, or
Right.
turning on. It's nothing too crazy. Make him take care of his animals, stuff like that. Make him do his laundry. Well, I mean, we help him with his laundry, but like picking up their room, stuff like that. Um, but like my youngest is 4. It's not like you can ask him to go in there and I mean, I guess you could ask him to go in there and put his put his laundry
Pay
away,
money.
but
Pay money for a ticket to see you try.
but there's no way his clothes are gonna go on the hanger, right? Like, not my kid. Other kids, I mean, if your kid can do that, you deserve. Come over and teach mine, please.
Yeah. Are you available?
My 4-year-old could not do
Your
that. My
going rates.
could not do that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But like we don't have a chore chart. It's just kind of, and I don't even really know if we spring clean. I think we clean 2 times a year, and it's right before school, and then usually like right around Christmas as well. So maybe that's our spring cleaning. And that's when we go through all the kids' clothes. It's like those 2 school semesters starting is when we go through the clothes.
Okay.
Because we have to like switch it with the seasons and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I think that's most of the time when we do our big cleaning. But that's like their rooms, getting in, really organizing their rooms. The rest of the house, we're pretty good about, like the couch cushions get dirty. I'd say probably every other month we unzip our couch cushions and wash them.
Yeah.
We also have animals inside, so that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, me and my husband, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I hit the jackpot. My husband cleans so much. He's kind of a clean freak. On the opposite side of that, like I'm the one who usually handles all the finances. So a little bit of a role reversal there.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm the one who does our budget. I'm the one who, makes sure that the lights are on, everything like that. Like he wouldn't even know what our password is to log into our electric company.
Wow.
Wow.
That's me.
But we don't do any chore charts. It's just kind of like, hey, what needs to be done, and we do it. What about you
Yeah.
guys?
I mean, my oldest, my stepson, he's gonna be 10 in April, and we've talked about it, but he hasn't yet to actually start anything. But he's super proud of himself right now though, because he has mastered the Easy Mac cup and the ramen noodles.
Oh yeah.
So he can make himself ramen noodles or an Easy Mac, and he thinks that is great. But we've been talking about because my laundry machine is a throw it in and hit start.
Ooh.
We're gonna teach him how to do that, and my husband wants to teach him how to do the dishes because I personally loathe the dishes.
Loathe the dishes.
I
hate
will
them.
I will wash my roommate's underwear before I will do the dishes. If I can do everybody's laundry to not do the dishes, I will, and I have. I've seen me do it.
Hey, I'll make that trade with you. You want to come over here?
I'm telling you,
I hate laundry.
I do too now. Like I fall behind on it constantly, but that's because I stay on the kids' laundry. It's my laundry
Right.
that ends up 4 feet high, the mountain of laundry. But I also end up with a mountain of dishes when my husband's not home.
I think it's
sometimes.
interesting that Kat brought up, like, changing the clothes for the season for, you have boys. I have girls. I have a lot of girls. I have 4 girls. So we
Yeah.
change. I feel like we change every season. So we're doing it multiple times, because you got your summer stuff and then your fall stuff and then your like deep winter stuff and then your spring stuff, which is I thought would be the same as summer, but apparently not. Like
No.
for like guys, dudes and guys, whatever you want to call them, like, t-shirts, some shorts most of the spring and summer and fall, and then like, oh, okay, we're wearing jeans now. Like, okay, cool. Like, I was like, I
Yep.
feel like there's a whole lot that we have that one hoodie that we just rock all season. Like that
Yeah.
is the hoodie. So I thought that was interesting because like it's a whole thing my wife does. Like I have no part of it because I don't want no part of it. But we have a storage shed outside, and she's got like boxes that are labeled like age range this season, and like
Yep.
there's like it's very ugly and scary. I don't like it. I get in there and I start freaking out. It's
My mom did
organized.
the exact my mom did the exact same thing with me and my 3 sisters. She had
Yeah.
4 girls and, hand-me-downs were a way of life, but my mom took it a step further. I got hand-me-downs from her friends' kids all the time.
Hey, you gotta save
The
money and cut costs where you can. So big,
mean-
with
applaud to
4
your mom.
kids, absolutely. Every Aeropostale, American Eagle, Hollister, all of that stuff that was popular when we were younger, everything I owned came from my mom's boss's daughter.
You just brought back weird core memories of Aeropostale and Hollister. Just why?
Oh,
I
yeah.
still have some Arrow shirts. I don't wear them very often, but
Some of
I
us
still
have
have
gotten
a
a little
couple.
bit bigger than we were in middle school. I
Oh
don't think I could wear
man.
that
Not
medium
I.
shirt even on my arm now.
Can you imagine like walking into one of those stores with our eyesight now? There's
Because
everything.
they're all dark. Yeah,
They're all dark.
I'd be
What
sneezing
color
because
is
it's
it?
all like the freaking cologne they spray throughout the store. Like, ugh.
Oh my god.
We're sounding really old right now, ladies. So I think we should
We-
switch the conversation.
We are old. It's
We're talking
okay.
about cleaning, cough. Well, yeah. So, I know that you guys have a chore chart. We don't have a chore chart.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
Gosh, do you guys have a chore chart?
Not currently, but we did when the 2 oldest were still living at home.
Okay.
Yeah. I think a lot of the way we run our house, and I'm not trying to sit here and say like it's better than anybody or whatever, but I think a lot of it comes from like the fact that we're kind of multicultural in my home. She's real for better lack of understanding how to say it, like she's white, like she's American raised. I'm
Okay.
American raised and half white, but my father was from Mexico, so he's very traditional Hispanic. So the things and the views that he brought into the household were very much the way I was raised. So like the moment my girls were really kind of getting to like 5 6 7, I was like pushing. I'm like, hey, they need to start helping out with cleaning, helping out with the dishes, helping out cooking. And my wife's like, absolutely not. Like that's so dangerous, like for them to be near the stove. I'm like, they have to learn. And I pushed it and I pushed it, and she always fought back. So it's funny because my first daughter, who is exceptional cook right now, um it's funny because she's really good, but it's the other ones, because my wife started getting comfortable with the idea, that have actually surpassed her. Like they'll get in there at their young ages and they'll cook and stuff. So the chore chart's always been a thing. Like it's always been like a they got to get going. Now for me
Yeah.
a chart was never like this should be common. Like we wake up, we see mess, we clean mess. But then she made it a chart thing, which has been helpful for the kids because then you don't get this excuse of like, I forgot, oh, I didn't see it, oh, I didn't think about it. So
Yeah.
the chore chart's been a really cool thing.
Yeah, we did that with the teenagers. When the 2 oldest were living with us, it was about a almost 2-year stretch. And it was pretty simple, but they had a full-on chart, but I had them pretty much doing everything. When they on their laundry day, it was their laundry. I made them do their own laundry. Keep their rooms clean and stuff. And it wasn't necessarily you have to do this chore today type thing. It was, if it needs to be done, if you want to leave this house, it's got to be done.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they had to have their homework finished and their chore for the day done. And then we didn't care what they did till dinner. Dinner was at 6:30. Have your ass home by 6:30.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. It was all well and good until my stepson decided to ignore the lawn 2 weeks in a row. And I wasn't trying to be that stepmom that was checking the chore chart every day. You know, I was still in the process of being the cool mom to the best of my ability. And so it was always, is your homework done? Yeah. Is your chore done? Yeah. Bye.
Right.
And yeah, that bit me in the ass.
I
Ah,
I really think a chore chart it's not something that I'm opposed to. Like the more I sit here and think about it, the more I do think like, hey, that's actually probably a really good idea for my boys because they are all over the place sometimes. I'm really curious. Something that we do in my house, and I'm going to preface this a little bit. So I work with projects a lot, like in my actual 8 to 5.
right.
So I have multiple projects running simultaneously. I've taken project management classes, all that good stuff. One thing that helps me is setting a timer for a specific amount of time and working on that project for a specific amount of time. I do everything within that time frame, and when it's done, I step back. I usually reward myself with like a little walk. We go get a water, something like that. And then I come back, I set a timer for another amount of time and do another project if I don't, if it's not super time sensitive. And that really helps me compartmentalize those things. It's still get everything done on the same day. It's like, hey, I have to work on this for 30 minutes. And then, like something that's less important, like just, reading. Okay, if my boss ever sees this, policies are important, but something less important like reading policy later. I can do my project then and there and I can read that later.
Gotta be
Um,
careful. We went viral once.
um, so like we've done that at home as well. It's like, hey, for the next 30 minutes, we're gonna clean the kitchen. Hey, for the next, little
Yeah.
bit. And it's sometimes we even make it a game. It's like, I bet I can clean this room faster than you can clean that room. Like, that's usually with my kids because they're, I like you said, I have all 3 boys and they're really competitive.
Yeah.
So like we will do that. Have you guys ever done something like that? Is that am I crazy for doing that?
If I were to challenge those boys of mine to I can clean the living room before you can clean the bedroom, I'm here to tell you right now, everything would go under the bed. They would beat me, but everything would be under the bed.
That's hilarious. I don't think we've ever done it that way, and I'll explain a little bit in a minute why. But the times that we do that would be like when if we
You
come
do?
home from work. Yeah, do. We come home from work and like nothing's done. The house is a mess. And they
Yeah.
were home all day or something like that. Like they didn't have
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Like that sends my wife into a rage. And for me personally, mentally, like having cleanliness is important. Like I'm a streamer, so when I stream, I clean my desk area, I clean my room, I vacuum it, I dust it, because for my mental, like I need a place to work. you know and it's just funny because I'm a blue collar guy, so my work truck is the dirtiest thing on this earth that you would ever see in your life. So it's funny, but at home I'm way different, like clean and
Yeah.
so it does stress me out when I walk in. But I also, when I was young and when my dad would come home from work, I remember that fear of him coming home and being like, he's going to yell at me, he's going to be mad at me, blah, blah, blah. And instead of, as a child, learning the lesson of if I just got my work done, I don't have to worry about it, I would just live in fear all the time. So I don't like to project that out to them. Wife does not care. She's on 10. We'll walk through the door. And she's like, why is this not done? Why is that not vacuumed? Why? Like, I'm just like, oh, she stresses me out. So I just go to my room. Because
And
I'm just
this
like,
is
Yeah.
why we all have anxiety.
Oh, my kids dread when I come home from work on Sunday because my mom watches the kids all day and
God.
she lets them run
Yeah.
wild. And
Yeah.
sometimes my nephew's here too, and the boys
Aunties.
like to break things. And my youngest the 3-year-old right now is in this phase of she just wants to bring all of the toys out of her room and her brother's room and pile them on top of my coffee table and then throw them off real fast and be like, hooray.
Oh, the
It's
pile method.
oh
The
yeah,
pile method.
the Pulte pile. She is a handful, but I come home and every time, like my mom makes them grilled cheese. It's like their weekly thing. And the pans on the fucking stove with crumbs and the spatula
Oh,
still in it. There's a half-eaten sandwich on the table.
Oh yeah.
There's toys everywhere. My cat's bowls are empty. The litter box is completely full. The boys have been in their room all day. They smell like baked beans. Like I come home and my mom's like, okay, I love you. Bye. And I'm just like, I love you too.
hmm
Because she didn't used to be that way. When she first 2 years ago when I took that job for her, like she swept. The second time she babysat, she wanted to walk around my house barefoot. I have hardwood floors. There was shit all over the floor. So she swept so she could walk around barefoot. And now I can't even get her to do a load of dishes for me.
Oh, she's
Where
secure
is
in
the
her
love?
job. Nah, she's secure in her job. That's what it is.
Yeah. She's just, just being grandma.
But anyways, coming home like that, I think would be the only time that there would be a time standard. It's
Okay.
because then she's like, "All right, get up, stop what you're doing. We're doing this." And the longer you take, the longer it's gonna take me to stop and make dinner. So, you want to eat tonight? Like, here we go. I know some parents are gonna take that extreme, like, "Oh, so you don't feed your no, like, get out of here with that crap." Like, you gotta. We had to work all day. You've done nothing. Let's get this done. And then they're always good about getting it done. So. But at the same time, as dad and husband, I know when I walk in and see that, and I know what's about to happen. I also know I've just lost my free time because now I'm gonna have to help catch up dinner. Now I'm stuck doing that. So it's always a lose lose for dad. It feels like in that moment.
My husband, anytime I leave something too long, his way of getting me to do it is to start doing it. He knows that if he starts doing it, I'll tell him I was going to do that today, or I was going to do that in a minute. And I bark at him for doing stuff that I know I should be doing. And
So
I just don't touch my stuff.
my husband's gonna call me out on this. Sometimes I'll ask him to do something, like something like while I'm making dinner, I'm like, hey, can you take the trash out? Like, because I mean, everyone here has cooked in their lifetime. When you're cooking, you throw stuff away a lot of the times because you're either peeling potatoes or whatever you need to do.
Opening meat
So, like,
packets or whatever.
Yeah. So I've absolutely asked my husband, like, hey, can you take the trash out? And he's like, yeah, I'll get to it in a minute. And I do not know why, but that drives me crazy. And I'll be like, ugh, never mind, I'll do it myself. And as soon as I say that, it immediately gets done. Like, whatever he's doing, wherever he is at the house, he will teleport to that trash can faster than I can take the 3 steps to the trash can.
Mhm.
Like, the trash is gone. But
that's the only expectation I really have of my husband at home. Take the trash out. I don't want to take the trash out.
It's my oldest son's job. Yeah, he knows it too. No, that is as coming from a husband. That is the most infuriating thing. It's like when you guys are like, "Hey, can you do this?" And you're like, "Yeah, give me a minute." And like for me, instance, like I'm gonna use my example. Like I'll go to I'm walking to the restroom. That's what I'm gonna go do, right? And you're like, "Hey, can you take the trash out?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And I'm going in there, and then as I'm coming out from washing my hands, I'm sitting there, doing this, and there you go out the door. That infuriates me. Like,
I have
what?
no sympathy for you with that. What takes you so long to poop? Men poop for such a long time.
They
like,
do
my
not.
husband will
They
be in there
just sit
for
on the
20
toilet.
minutes. I'm like, what are you doing? Do you poop? Like, do you go poop before you need to poop? Like,
Listen,
I go in there, I get my business done, max
I think
3-4 minutes.
every
Like,
man takes time
Why?
to use the restroom, but I think there's maybe 3 categories of why. There's your man
Oh.
that has to sit down and he has to just kind of, that's his quiet because nobody bothers him because he stinks so bad, you know? Most of us do, right? So that's your peace and quiet. That's your moment when the kids are screaming, the wife's asking for the honeydew list to get done right now. That's your moment to just kind of breathe. And then you forget why you're even in there. And then you go to get up and you're like, oh, fuck, I got to use the restroom. So then you sit back down and use the restroom. There's that one. There's the other guy who's doom scrolling on his phone, right? And he'll claim it's
My
for the
husband.
same reasons, but he's got ADD or something. He's just on that phone, you know? And then there's your third guy, okay? And this, I don't know, maybe gets me canceled, maybe not. But you know, some of us we don't use the back door, if you know what I mean. We don't use it. So it takes a while for that thing to open up and get something pushed out, okay? It just takes time. So quit judging us and rushing us. All right, that thing is pristine back there. It's very good.
Okay,
All right.
look, your chocolate starfish may be
Oh my
pristine,
God.
but your colon is so much bigger than our colon is. So I don't want to hear none of that shit.
Exactly. So that starfish got to pucker up a lot bigger.
This is
All right?
wild. So we're still talking about cleaning, believe it or not, just cleaning out your colon.
That's right.
Exactly.
Shit happens.
But no, anyways, obviously I'm never gonna tell you ladies how to parent. I'm not gonna tell you what to do inside your own homes. But having all boys, I think the chore list, if you really are thinking and leaning towards it, if I could
Yeah.
make a case of why it'd be a good deal, is because like when they get older, doesn't matter what field they go in. And you know this because you guys work. When you go into work, you typically are going to have a checklist of things that you have to check before you start your shift.
Yeah.
If it's you personally, like, are you in uniform? Whatever that is. When you walk in, clock in. Okay, what's the first thing you got to do? Check maybe the scheduling if you're in a weird
You guys still
job.
clocking.
Okay, well, not everybody. It was just like you. Okay. But I think it's good
I
to
get
kind of
paid in
get them into that
cash.
routine of understanding like this is always going to be an expectation, always at this time, and I think that just sets them up for the future. That's
Yeah.
just my personal opinion. Again, not gonna tell you what to do, but I think that's why it's good and healthy for them.
No, I like it. My kids are usually really good, respectful, and I'm gonna really like shout out our taekwondo place. Like putting them in taekwondo was the best decision we ever made for our kids because it has taught them respect, self-discipline, confidence. Oh my gosh, you can't believe what it's done for their confidence. So
Yeah.
a lot of the times if we ask them, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? They're gonna jump right on it. So I do think it would be a little bit of an adjustment to do a chore list. But I also think it would be a good thing, because they're my oldest is, really could read a chore list.
Yeah.
My middle is in sight words, so and then the little will be in sight words next year. So I do think, we do have chores for them. It's just we remind them every day. So having that little
Yeah.
thing I think would be a good
Yeah,
I think would be a good idea. So we
I think,
might have to check it out.
and I know, especially as a parent, when you have kids, the topic of fair comes up all the time. I
Oh
understand that.
yes.
But like if you started with the oldest and gave him just a chore list, you see your middle child be like, hey, like I want, that's a trap. No, you don't. You don't want that. But if he's capable and able to read and to do all that, then maybe do that, and then that kind of incites the other two to maybe want to follow suit with it.
Yeah.
That's just kind of what my
Cool.
experience has been doing it, because they all wanted it and they all thought it was fun and made them feel big and like had responsibility, which helped with that self-esteem of like, oh, okay, like
Yeah.
I'm somebody in this house, and which is funny now because they all dread it and they hate it and they don't want it to exist.
Yeah.
But for the older too, it's definitely one of those things where it's like, hey, you can do these whenever you want as long as it's before mom gets home from work because mom's gonna tear you a new one. But you can't get on your electronics, you can't play the
Yeah.
video games or whatever until this list is done. So you can sit
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
and read, you can color, you can play with your siblings, you can do all that, you can do whatever you want pretty much. Can't have what you really want, can't be on your phone, can't do none of that until this chore list is done. So
Yeah,
they
play
wake
on your
up and they pretty
tablet.
much, crack their knuckles and they get to work. So like, all right, let me earn my time. And that's
Yeah.
been a big help too.
Yeah.
I'll let my boys out of homework in exchange for playing with their sister.
No,
If they'll run,
that is probably a rough dynamic with have the one girl and she's so young. That's
there's
probably a rough
5 years between my two.
Yeah.
Boy mom for life.
Yeah, because my
You can
oldest is
borrow
a
my
boy,
little
my
one.
youngest is a boy, so I think everything just kind of works because girls are always willing to play with boys, but boys are never willing to play with the girls. So I think everything just kind of works pretty flawlessly for us and how we have it.
I mean, if any of my old guy friends from growing up see this, I see y'all. I was very fortunate that I was the girl that wanted to play with all the guys, and I was very fortunate that there were quite a few guys that were willing to be my friend.
Yeah.
I
And
will say,
we all grew apart. We were all married with children, wildly enough.
I love being a boy mom, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. The one thing I will say about it, and it's not really chore related, I think this is the one who said this to me, and it's tore me up ever since. Was man that like I it's really unfortunate that you didn't have a girl, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I love being a boy mom, and I whoever said it to me, I think it was you as said, well, it's really unfortunate for your husband because he'll never get to walk his daughter down the aisle.
That was me. Yeah, that was me.
And I was like,
I did not. I don't. I obviously didn't think before I spoke, and I apologize about that. But it is. It's an unfortunate thing for him, sure, but also like maybe probably a godsend because the closer I get, like every day to that happening, maybe it breaks my heart to think about doing that. It's going to be probably one of the hardest things I can see myself doing in the future. So obviously he's not going to have to go through that,
he
but
doesn't.
you know, I didn't mean it that way. I don't know if that was at Thanksgiving and we had a little bit of wine in the stomach at that point. So the filter was off of like rationality, like, hey, maybe don't say this to another parent because it's going to hurt them. But I apologize about that. But I mean,
It's fine.
I think, the cliche is everybody's going to say is, kids are a blessing no matter what, and I think the experience of having, one of each is really like for the parents that have one of each, like you're lucky and like that's amazing. But then to have multiple of each is just like, why did I do this?
Both of my OBs told me I was a freak of nature for other reasons, but one boy, one girl.
Done.
Cut her off. She's done.
Oh.
I am not ready for that. I hate that I'm thinking about that. I hate that I made you think that all this time and you're just not bringing it up. Because that hurts, like to think about it, because I was just watching my daughter's sick today, running fever and stuff. I was running fever this morning, thought I was going to have like an earache or something, but it never came. And I was just watching her sleep and I was just thinking like, God, I love this thing. And in my head, I'm like, nobody else loves this thing more than me. And then I was like, oh, there's going to be some little dirty, little nasty boy one day that comes and tries to take her from me. I started getting mad. And my mother-in-law walked in and she's like, hey. And I was like, what? And I was like, I'm sorry. That was completely misplaced. That did not mean to go towards you. Like, yeah, I was.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a rough morning.
Friendly fire.
No,
friendly.
I don't feel bad. I think that
Not
we're at the
friendly.
point in our friendship that, we, and I think really a lot of this podcast is about some of those hard discussions and, the differences between parents. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all going to do different things.
And we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge. We judge a little bit, but we don't judge.
But we don't tell you we're judging.
Right.
I don't know. Aztec tells me he's judging.
No, I actually
That's why I don't drink.
Ever since I became a mom, I've always been like on the internet and stuff. I've always been an advocate of being kind to others and especially moms. Being homeschooled and slightly sheltered growing up, becoming a mom for me was absolutely terrifying. When I got that positive pregnancy test, I broke down in tears, called my mother hysterically, like my life was over. And I was 26. And I had, yeah, my 20s were a good time. So it was like, it's okay. Your life's over. No big deal, But at the time, no, absolutely not. But it really changed my perspective because I did find some really fantastic supportive mom groups on social media. And, I was part of a friend, and it's rare too, but we had a friendly group on Facebook that was the breastfeeding debate from a we listen, we don't judge point of view, from a fed is best point of view, where if you chose to do that, or you chose to do formula, it didn't matter. We supported everybody and celebrated everybody and, their right to choose what's best for their children as a parent. And my motto has always been that every parent is different and every child is different. Every situation is different, period.
Yeah.
So what might work for your household may not work for my household.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem with the way you do things. And honestly, I like to hear about the way that other parents do things because I might learn something that might work for my family.
Yeah.
And I like to share what we do because some of the stuff we do is pretty unique. My son is autistic. So I've got special needs and a toddler and a poor stepchild that is like, why am I the only normal one in the house?
I think there's like a lot that we could touch on from that. Is like, like that's the whole reason for the podcast is because parents feel like they're left over as soon as they become a husband, a wife, and a parent. But B, like that's what makes me wish we could go back to like what is it like maybe the 40s to the 70s, where like what went on in your own house is like that is your business.
It was
If
your
you
business.
decided to go out and be like, hey, like, oh, I breastfeed, and you're like, oh, well, I do formula. You both sit there and act intrigued with what each other have to say and the reasons why you do what you say, and then you go home and tell your spouse, this crazy person does this, and you keep it to yourself. Everybody moves on, and nobody cares. Like everybody's like, cool. Like that's what we're missing in today, because now people feel the need to see something out in public and be like, hey, you're wrong. No, they're not wrong. Let them do them. Like that's not how it should be, in my opinion.
I'm telling you right now, because I knew both of my grandmothers so well. I'm telling you right now, if you think those wives did not gossip about every little thing on the block at book club, you are wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody knew everybody's business back then, but everybody pretended that what went on in your house was it. Like, it was more like a say it and forget it type thing. Like we'll gossip about it, but that was what made gossip.
My husband hears everything.
If you were saying it out loud, it wasn't gossip anymore.
So now I have
he's worse of a gossip than I am
about the whole "you didn't have a daughter" conversation.
he's worse of a gossip than I am. I can't go to Walmart without him running into like 4 people. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to go get the rest of the stuff. You can talk to them.
Yeah. Get me out of here.
I used to be that person. Like, anytime that we would come back up here and go to Walmart, I would run into like 6 people that know me or my mom. And mostly know my mom. And I don't know. I turned 30 and I just decided like, I no longer care if these people like me.
Yeah.
They don't come to the bar and see me on Sunday. So, just because you sit at my mom's table does not mean that we're family and does not mean we're friends. No, I don't want to hug you in Walmart. I haven't seen you in 6 years.
Yeah. Don't hug me.
Like,
that is the worst.
I got over that shit years ago. I told my mom, I was like, 4 years out of town. Moving back was weird. It really was.
That's why, like, as a guy in Walmart, if I see somebody like I used to know or I used to talk to, or maybe I used to work with or whatever, like I don't have a need to go talk to that person. If we make eye contact, which I'm going to try to avoid, but if we make eye contact, you're going to get hit with one of the, what's up, bro? and we're good, because I've literally had a guy come up to me and be like, bro, and I'm like, we have not talked since we worked together at all. And he's like, yeah, bro, I just didn't have contact with you. I have your number in my phone. I know you have my number. We don't need to sit here and pretend like we had some kind of great friendship. And I walked off. My wife was like, you're a dick. I was like, is that mean? She's like, yeah, people don't do that. And I was like, listen,
would
I
do
didn't
that.
have the energy or
I
time
do.
because we're in a hurry to sit there and be like, hey, I'm going to fake to be your friend today. I know that kind of backfires on what I just said of like, but that's, to me, that's part of minding my own business and moving on. Like we did
Yeah.
the head nod thing. We should have left it at that. Like
We did the head
that was
nod.
cool. Like you didn't have to come up to me and bombard me with, like I'm in a hurry. We were there for diapers. Like we're in and out. We're trying to leave.
Yeah.
So
You weren't
but-
in there for diapers. You were in there to get cleaning stuff for spring cleaning.
yeah, I'm so scared.
So
You guys have no idea. It's such a chore around here. I'm telling you. I think my wife personally, she takes it over, man. She's the general. She's like, hey, you go here, you go here. I'm lucky, because I'm the big dumb guy, so I get to move all the couches outside and do all that stuff while and then I kind of hide outside and disappear. And then I made the mistake of disappearing into my garage and her walking out there and being like, oh no, you want to be out here, then you're gonna organize this garage. And I was like, god dang, boy, I messed up this year. So I think this year, I got a plan, and you guys better not text her and tell her. I think what I'm going to do as soon as she starts cleaning, I'm going to go empty out the milk into the sink, and I'm going to run to the store and get some milk. That's my plan. Okay, that's snitching right there.
damn.
So I think I'm gonna try to get out of it best I can. Move the couches
I
out.
use-
Be like, oh, we're out of milk. See ya.
Yep.
Milk.
I usually tell my husband to go do something with the kids. He usually will take them to a park. We'll pick a nice day because it's easier for me to get motivated on a nice day. And he'll pick a nice day and he'll go and he'll take them to Chick-fil-A and they'll play in the play place there and eat lunch. And then they'll go to Walmart or GameStop and then he'll take them to the park and he makes a day of it. And he tries really hard to keep them out of the house for a minimum of 3 hours. And he dads the hell up and takes all the kids out of the house. And I just usually I put my AirPods in and just jam
Turn on
out.
the podcast.
There you go.
I do.
Once we have
There you
more
go.
content up,
I have-
especially.
I have three. I have three that I listen to. So when there's a new episode, I do listen to the podcast. But because I only listen to the three right now, so
I think they should be. I think it should be the More Than Parents podcast.
oh, it's on there.
The Stream PC
Oh,
That's on
there,
the
too.
other podcast. Nice.
and Morbid.
I'm a sucker for murder and makeup. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I love Bailey.
I'm a morbid girly all the way.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
love murder and makeup.
I didn't realize how much I was into it until like TikTok became a big thing. I start scrolling and you get that one part of the story, and I hate it because it's always like the second or
I
third
hate it.
episode. So then you're like, oh, I
Oh.
gotta go back and watch. And then by the time you get back to the original episode, you're like, well, I gotta watch this again, right? Because I have to be current. And then you're like, oh wow, 4 hours have gone by, and I've learned 5 different murder stories in my area. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm productive human today. Now I can
Oh, yeah.
Productive
protect my
human
family,
today.
from the craziness of murderers
I love
in
it.
the area.
So yeah, if you guys are out here listening and you need some motivation for your spring cleaning, all you have to do is listen to the More Than Parents podcast. You'll get some giggles while you're cleaning. You'll hear us talk
My face
about
hurts.
random things. You'll hear us talk about, not hear us talk about it, but you'll hear us do this right here and stutter and make stuff up and mispronounce things. It'll happen.
That's the
And you
best.
can laugh right along with us.
Or say the wrong date because we don't have fact checkers yet.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. The date thing is gonna haunt us forever.
Oh, what was that called?
Oh yeah, that one's gonna follow me
I
around
don't know.
forever.
Going forward, I might intentionally just have us say the wrong date, just because that seems to.
There you go.
help promote the channel.
Definitely.
Like screw it. Christmas is December 26th. Like let's go forward with that.
Well,
And,
let's go for Hub's birthday, December 27th, all the way.
there you go. Yeah. Um,
Oh man.
but to backtrack again, so that's one of the things that's like too bad we didn't find the three of us didn't find each other earlier in life. Maybe we wouldn't have
Yeah.
worked together, the way that we work now, because I think a lot of our experiences was what brought us together. But we don't know at the same time. But when you got that news of like you're becoming a parent, like that's the first thing everybody thinks. And let me backtrack. Not everybody, but most people are like, my life is done. Like, how do I live? And that was like the whole purpose of like coming together to make this podcast, is because we talked about it last episode where we all went down to Dallas together. Stuff like that is what is important, and we want other parents to remember in their day to day is like, yes, you have to get up and take care of those babies. Yes, you have to go to work. Yes, you also have to check on your spouse and make sure you guys are good. I don't think that marriage is 100%. There's no way. You guys cannot both put 100% all the time. Today I wake up, I'm feeling 80%. You have to have that 20% in you to bring to the table. Now, if we're lucky and you're also feeling 80, we have 160% to bring. It's going to be a good fucking day in the house.
Hell yeah.
That's the way I view marriage. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about anybody listening, but it's not 100. That the total is 100, and we got to make it. Because sometimes you're not mentally well, or you're tired. You're not there. You're not 100%. That's the point of being a team, right? We make the 100% together. So you have to check on your spouse, but at the end of the day, you also need a life. And a lot of that, I believe, is there's a lot of parents out here, and my wife's like the biggest culprit, is we put the kids first always. Always, always,
Yeah.
always, always. We have to put each other first. And then you also have to have your own thing, which is what I love. I'm talking to Crash's husband. Anytime we get on the phone, it's a 2-3 hour conversation. We'll say bye to each other 5 minutes in, and then an hour in, and then 2 hours in, and then we just keep going. But that's the one thing I love is he just has such a respect for your space and your time, which is what we're looking at through the camera right now. That's your space, and he has such a respect for that because he understands that you need it. He understands that time. My wife does the same. She understands that I need to come in here. I have this little corner where it's like, you guys think this is my son's room? No, it's my room. All right, there's all that stuff back there. That's mine. This is my area.
Yeah.
I need this time. So. And then I think a lot of time when we try to give them time, I don't know about you guys, but when I try to give my wife time, she takes that time to just do more parenting. I'm like, go read a book, get out of here, go take a shit bath, go soak, get out of here. And then she's like, girls, do you want to put your swimsuits on and take a bath?
I heard it crash. I heard it.
What?
I heard it.
What?
I'm sorry.
I know 110%. You almost just said, "Go take a shit."
Episode done. We're done.
Crash heard it. We made eye contact.
It's because you asked a question earlier, and that's what got my brain a free time. Okay.
We made eye contact. And I was like, "Oh, I heard it. Oh, I heard it. I heard it too."
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Keep it in. Keep it in.
I'm calling you out on everything now.
Keep it in.
I tried not to. My face couldn't help it.
Keep it in.
I can't. It hurts.
Are we good? Are we good, ladies? Are we done? Jeez. Anyways, what I'm saying is that's what I think is important to get out, because I think everybody just freaks out. They feel like it's over, and a lot of people, they end up living their life that way, like it is over. Like they think they're one dimensional at this point. So it's definitely important to take those times aside. Me and my brother were talking about taking a trip to Dallas on our own. Away from the wife, away from the kids. I don't know if I can do it. I'm pretty nervous about it because like I've not been away from her that long, so I don't know. But then like me and my buddy Lucky, like we're going to TwitchCon this year. Like we're going to TwitchCon. That's a whole weekend. So, I mean, those are just things that you have to plan out way in advance and talk to and have communication. So
I want to go to TwitchCon.
Let's go.
Yeah, me too.
Let's go.
I got a couple of friends. Oh my
Really?
god. Why?
I would be really interested to hear what the viewers think, how they deal with spring cleaning. Do they have a chore chart? Do they not have a chore chart? I mean, like Crash was saying earlier, what works for some people might not work for others, and other people might have new ideas that other people haven't talked about. So, help me figure out how to do a chore chart with my children, please. Someone give me advice.
Yeah, where's those other boy moms?
Internet, give me unsolicited advice of how to parent. Come on now.
They're good at it. They're good.
Free pass.
I mean, they were telling Crash's parents how to parent. That was
Yeah.
These guys are OGs. What do you mean?
Telling boomers how to parent. That's wild.
Back in their day, that was a knuckle sandwich. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I think that was fun, and hopefully somebody out there can relate. Hopefully they are listening to this while they do their spring cleaning, and they can say, "Wow, so other people do this, and I'm not crazy." Or hopefully somebody's wife unplugs us out of their headphones and be like, "Listen to this. Yeah, I'm not crazy. They do this too." So hopefully
Clean
we
your
helped you out
house.
there. Clean your house.
Clean your house.
Move your couch.
Move your couch. Get them dust bunnies.
Well,
They don't pay rent. They don't pay rent.
You know what? This is your monthly reminder, because you actually should be doing this monthly, not yearly.
Facts.
Go change your air filter.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
monthly?
right now. Once a month, you're supposed
Once
to
a
change
month,
your
you
air
have to
filter.
change
Once
your
a
air
month.
filter.
And that's why you're coughing.
We do it every other check.
Every other.
And we get paid.
Wow.
Yeah. Because we don't get paid the same Fridays. So I do it every other check. So it's every 2 weeks.
Oh no, we just changed ours monthly.
No, we have indoor dogs. We have indoor children.
Indoor children.
Too much.
So many crotch goblins.
Yeah.
Regardless, go change your air filter.
Yeah.
I don't want to, Mom.
Go change your air filter. You need to. It's
don't
about to
think
be
it's hard.
spring. It's about to be spring, and those allergies are gonna be hitting you so hard. Go change your air filter and dust your fan blades.
I just got 2
Girl,
brand new
I am a
humidifiers.
Southern mama.
An air purifier.
We do local honey.
You do local honey. That's true.
I'm
What allergies?
I'm part Hispanic.
got
We
no
just do
allergies.
the old Vicks, put some Vicks on it and slap it. You're good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for today. Again, we are the More Than Parents podcast. I am Aztecan, along with Crash and Kat. We will see you guys in the next episode. Much love.
Hooker, I will end you. Friendly! Not friendly, it's gun game.
It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's giving cat vibes.
I'm not the one in charge. That's all my wife. That's all her.